Good morning, good afternoon, or indeed good evening, and welcome to Pit Road Productions, or if you're tuned in on the Almeida Racing League channel, a huge welcome to you there. Certainly looking forward to an absolute belter of a race today. We're going to be here at what is known as the Canadian Formula One circuit, Gilles Villeneuve, and here, joining me in the booth today, is Mr. John Wright, and my name is Daniel Zippy Salmon. Now, Mr. John, certainly a pleasure to have you in the booth alongside me for a change. Usually, you're out there covering me while I'm out there running around Canada covering some real-life racing as well. But, John, I have a feeling we're going to be in for a treat here with the Formula 1600s.
I mean, thank you. Good evening. Thank you for the intro as well. And yes, well, you're off Gallivant, and I do get the best seat in the house. Made no secret of this. I love open wheel racing. All I take part in is F4s, and the level of talent that we've got in this league and the level of respect, absolutely out of this world. And to say we're in for a treat around the Canadian F1 circuit of one of the greatest of all time, in fact. Yeah, massive understatement, Daniel. I'm super excited to get this one underway, as you can hear probably.
Well, absolutely. Loving the enthusiasm, John. As we take a look at the schedule, we started off at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park for round one before heading over to Oschersleben for round two. Lime Rock Park for round three. What a belter that was before round four, taking us over to Lebanon. Round five, where did we go? Ladies and gentlemen, it's just a scuba. It's across the ocean, indeed, across the world for round five, with round six taking us to Virginia International Raceway. Round seven, Okayama. That was last week, taking us back over to Japan again. Well, obviously, somebody did a poor job of booking the flights there before we head over to this round. Round 9 is going to take us to Navarro, with round 10 taking us over to Rutskogen, with the final round of the season being an endurance round there at Brands Hatch. And September 12th, we are going to have a special event. We're actually going to be doing the late model stocks at Virginia International Raceway as well. But let's take a look here with John at the race format.
Indeed, yes. So it is our fun format today. Oh, yes. It is the 60-minute practice the drivers have been through. They're out in their open qualifying now. We've then got the 15-minute race number one. Then a randomised invert for race number two, which is going to be another 15-minute. Strap in for that one, folks. And then we've got the feature race, 20 minutes long. The grid for that is going to be set by heat number two, with the randomised inverted grid. Of course, no fast repairs, as we'd expect, Daniel. The drivers absolutely fully committed, full damage engaged, and the drivers, it's very rarely we see monster crashes here, because just such clean, respectful racing.
Yeah, certainly you can tell these gentlemen are students of the Almeida Racing Academy. Certainly, if you want to get involved in that, you need to have a membership, and certainly, why would you not want to check it out as well? There is a free membership available, but don't get me wrong, the gold membership is where it's at. But let's take a look here. You've got courses, and it applies for sim racing and real racing as well. Car handling, racecraft, the MX-5 mini course. Certainly, that was really beneficial last season as well. All sorts of stuff going on. And then if you find that you need a little bit more of a personal touch, well, why not book one of the drivers as well? Suelio Almeida is bookable, as indeed is Kane Halliburton. And then our one and only NASCAR Canada driver himself, he's actually going to be at the Markham Indy race this weekend. They had a little bit of issues getting the track set up for the Friday sessions, were all cancelled. So it's going to be a jam-packed session for him over the weekend. He's going to be running there in the Diamond Storage number 3.
Indeed, yeah. I mean, Kane Halliburton, I'm instantly going to jump on that. If you didn't watch the last race here at Almeida, with Almeida, falling over my words again. But yeah, if you didn't watch the last race at Almeida, Kane Halliburton was involved in that. And I mean, he was involved. He made about 722 overtakes throughout the race, 4 wide at some point. And hopefully we see him out here again today. An absolute testament to the teaching that goes on there at Almeida. And as Daniel said, you get free entry into this league, and it is such a fun league right through the divisions, and that's something that you love to see, Daniel. Certainly a driver of my own calibre. The respect and the clean driving that goes right down through the field, and oftentimes that can be something that puts your inverted quotes slower drivers off getting involved in the league. Every level is catered for here at Almeida, and great racing on screen as well.
Absolutely, and certainly we've got Kyra Owens asking if Connor's going to be jumping through some curbs like a hooligan. He's actually at the Markham Indy Grand Prix this weekend. Certainly, you know, not only that, he's a Grand Prix Travel Riviere last week as well. But before we get too excited, let's take a look here at the standings in the overall academy. Ian Joyner leading the charge, a former champion, with Jeffrey Atkins in second, with a very, very close fight there between himself and Younes in third. Taking a look, though, the Split 1 Premier Class. If we have a look here, Ian Joyner, understandably, at the top of the food chain. Timothy Ing in second. Roughly just under 50 points clear of Kevin Lau, who's third. I've got to say, shout out to Jeremy Childers. We've seen him bounce between top split and second split. Made it to top split, not only that, top split Premier this season, and he's currently there in fourth, so good improvement there from that driver. Bas van der Lee, one of the nicest people we've ever met, or indeed one of the nicest people, well, the nicest Dutchman. Let's go with that angle. He's currently there in fifth. Not had the best of luck this season, but has consistently had pace. John, take us through the club.
Indeed, yeah, and I mean, it's been so competitive in the club. The drivers mixing it up with the top split. We've got Philip Falcon leading the way on 632 points, with Anthony Ore only not far behind, 564, and anything can change. We've got Rich Meesters in third, with Michael Cords up in fourth place. Arneo rounding out the top five with Rin, Krasik, Harker and Adrian, all inside the top 10. Kasim just on the border there on 351 points, but he's only 13 behind and 12 ahead of the drivers around him. So it is ultra close right through both of the splits, Daniel.
Yeah, very, very close racing indeed. But let's see if we can find a driver in just a second that we can get an onboard lap with. There's multiple available. Let's see if we can find Bas van der Lee. He's already at the start of a lap. Actually, we've got quite a few drivers here today who have gone and got the driver cams going. And ladies and gentlemen, I am very proud to announce that Mr. Kevin Adrian has made a return. The shirtless wonder himself is going to be back here on screen. Let's see whereabouts he is, see if we can get an onboard lap with him. Certainly nobody appears to be at the start of the lap, but right now you can see, though, Timothy Ing currently leading the charge. He's got a 146.22.
He is indeed, and what a lap that is up at the top of the field. He really is putting in the times. I'm looking forward to this shirtless camera here. I already know the 80s references that are coming our way. We've got Tyler Harker in close behind, and Bas van der Lee, as we said, disgustingly quick, disgustingly nice. I don't know why anybody likes him. It's too much talent and niceness for one person, in fact. But yeah, he is up in third place, as you would expect. And if his races last week are anything to go by, we are in for another absolute treat in this one as well. Notably, though, Rich Meesters and Philip Falcon at the minute, no times set, so they're sitting outside the 24 drivers that have set times so far. But I do expect Falcon at some point to make a fair old leap up the standings, given the pace that we've seen so far. And there he is there, Bas van der Lee. Man very much needs a defibrillator. I can say purple burglar alarm as a Scotsman. Can't say defibrillator. No, still can't say it. There we go. Yeah, thank you very much.
Well, we're going to go on board here with Bas van der Lee. He made his way through turns 1, 2, 3 and 4. He's really got to focus on that entry there to that first chicane. It can be absolutely monumental there. Carry as much pace, as much momentum as you possibly can. Cutting the curb a little bit there. Make it around the right hander. Maybe a very slightest of lift there. Bas van der Lee, though, he's currently in P6 overall. Tyler Harker leading the club class. He's about 7 positions clear of his nearest competition, that is Philip Falcon. We can see there, carrying momentum going into the next chicane. Certainly this one, the more challenging of the two. You've got to cut the curb a little bit there. Focus on corner exit as he makes his way down towards the hairpin.
And here he goes, yep, and down towards the hairpin he goes. There's a whole lot of momentum build up, even by these little left 1600s. He's going to be very, very, very heavy on the brakes as he tries to attack this one. You can see the darkened tarmac there as he gets it very nicely rotated. Just a little kiss of that apex curb on the way out. Keeps it on the curves again. Absolutely beautiful. I mean, look at that. He's even got time to take his hand off, give his eye a little scratch. Just, yeah, I'm only the quickest guy in the server at the moment. Let's just casually head along the back straight with one hand on the wheel. So quick at the moment. And he does have, in fact, he has lost a bit of time there in that middle sector. So he's got a bit of work to do in sector number 3 as he hits the chicane. The wall of champions flies on by. It doesn't claim a scalp at this point in the track. And there we go, across the start-finish straight. And is it going to be enough to see him propel himself further up the field?
It is.
Ooh, it takes Diaz Castro.
Well, certainly Kyle Diaz Castro, good to see him making a return. But right now, Bas van der Lee, he's only managed to be able to put it on the second row of the grid.
Indeed, yep. So he is on the second row of the grid. He's joined there by Ian Joyner, who we saw again last week. Absolutely phenomenal race from Ian. In both races, didn't have the best of luck in one of them, but certainly brought home the position he could. And Philip Falcon as well, just a note on him, I did say, if we go predicting things here, he's going to do well. I mean, fairly easy prediction to make. Yeah, up into 9th position overall. That is not too shabby a showing for the Silver Classical. Tyler Harker, of course, leading the way there up in 2nd place on the front row. So a really good showing and a really good mix from the classes, although the rest of the top 12, shoots himself off the track.
Yeah, a little bit of a tank stopper there, just carried a little bit of momentum, did Tyler Harker, but one thing I am seeing, and certainly from experience here, the Formula 1600, you will benefit from a draft, and that is exactly what Kevin Lau was doing. He's the car behind. You see he's gone purple in Sector 1, he's gone orange in Sector 2, but is he going to be able to capitalize it? Currently there, he's in P7 overall. You see him there tucking right behind Harker, trying to get as much of a draft as he can. These two drivers may be working together, which is honestly a very solid strategy as he's going to make his way down towards the final chicane and try and navigate past the Wall of Champions.
Yeah, as he comes flying into it, I mean, whether they're working together or not, Lau was able to take absolute advantage of that, especially with the driver ahead of him being on a slowdown. So he was going to get them, be able to benefit from that, and he managed to do so massively. Has he managed to carry that extra momentum through the chicane? He's certainly gone past the Wall of Champions. He's going to cross the line, no improvement. So he really did cost himself time in that 2nd sector. Couldn't take advantage of that slipstream that was gifted to him. And while all that's going on, Ian Joyner and Bas van der Lee have all been overtaken by Seafley.
Well, certainly Ian Joyner just went out a little bit faster. He managed to get it down to a 146.27. But Jacob Seafley there, the Polish driver, able to kind himself into a 146 flat. Are we going to see a driver break the 45s here with just 3.5 minutes left to go in qualifying? Now it looks like Jonathan Hobson lurking behind him. It is in that multicolored paint-splattered car, the number 86, and he's got a draft ahead of him in the form of Seafley. That's currently your pole sitter. Are we going to see Hobson find himself moving up from P5 to potentially the front row of the grid?
Yeah, we can see a lot of cars getting propelled here. The rising tide lifts all ships, and the more cars you've got in the slipstream, the more you're cutting through the air, the quicker you're going to be going, and the car ahead will certainly be carrying a bit of momentum as well. This is where it gets tricky though. Who lets who by when you're on a flying lap? Oh, there you go, 2 wheels on the grass, no room for 3 at the end, and 2 of them do manage to survive and make their way through as we jump on board with Hobson. Good to see he's gone with the discreet livery again, once again. It's yeah, easy to spot him in the crowd as he goes around the outside, carrying a lot of momentum, really leans into the corners as well. Oh, and I tell you what, the driver's going side by side. It's so awkward. It seems so simple with these cars, Daniel, but going side by side, even in qualifying, it really is going to cost one of the drivers. You want to be on that ideal line, but when they're around you carrying slipstream and so much pace, it's hard to know who's going to put the car where and when and how sometimes.
Certainly the biggest thing with the Formula 1600s is you've got to carry the momentum. Sometimes in a pack you can actually lose a little bit there, get a little bit checked up, but are we going to see Jonathan Hobson make an improvement? He's currently there for 146.4. Timothy Ying has taken the lead. He's going to put it into the 145s, the first driver to do so. But what about Hobson though? He did not go fast on that last lap, about 0.5 of a second slower. So we do have to wonder, is anybody going to be able to top Timothy Ying, the driver of the number 30 car, the Malaysian driver at that? Is he going to be able to stay on the front row of the grid? No one else making it to the 45s yet. Seafley though, well, 146 flat. Time is running out. The last couple of laps remain, and it is going to be a hard cut-off here on qualifying.
It really is a very hard cut-off indeed. That 1/10 of a second separating them, and Timothy Ying into the 45s. You've got 29 of the 30 drivers have set a time so far. Kane Halliburton will be starting from the back of the grid, but up at the front of the field, you've got to think Brian Lons, is he going to throw his hat into the ring? Kyle Diaz-Castro, not shy of a quick lap or two himself. Philip Falcon still hanging on to a top 10 position as well. Zomatov might throw one in there as well. Again, the slipstream could get handed out to any driver at any point in time. And they could find themselves absolutely propelled up the field. So with a minute left to go, it's still on an absolute knife edge. Timothy Ying won't be fully confident holding on to pole at this stage, I would say, and he is still going to be absolutely going for it, although he finds himself, I believe, yeah, pretty much on his own. And in fact, oh yeah, no, he is still very much moving.
Well, this is going to be the last opportunity for Ian Joyner here in the number 8 car. He is running out of time. He does not have any purple sectors right now and does not manage to make it up above 3rd place, really using all of the track there. And he's backed out the lap. It must have been a little bit of contact there. You see Tyler Harker fly by him as well. We get into the closing stages here. Carl Diaz Castro taking a run down pit lane. Kevin Lau pulling over. Philip Falcon, he's pulled over. What about Zoltan Zomator? He's making his way down past the final chicane. Are we going to see an improvement here from the German driver as he brings it up across the line and down the start finish?
Here we go, and is it an improvement? Oh, it is indeed. There's chopping and changing right through the field, actually. Zomatov's just got himself a lap put in. Conservicius as well.
Yes. Yeah, the number 9 of Dominicus Conservicius has managed to move his way forward as that is the end of qualifying. What an absolute battle. Indeed, it is not over until that clock counts down to 0. But we are going to give you your first grid here of the day. And on the front row, the Malaysian driver, the number 30 of Timothy Ing, alongside Mr. Polish man, Jacob Seepley takes 2nd. Ian Joyner, your existing champion, is going to be in 3rd with Bas van der Lee in 4th. Jonathan Hobson takes 5th with Tyler Harker leading the club class and P6 overall. Carl Diaz Castro in 7th with Dominicus Conservicius in P number 8. Kevin Lau is going to be there in 9th, and then Philip Falcon rounding out your top 10.
Indeed, yeah, then it's Ilari Arnio in 11th position with Zoltan Zomator in 12th place, the German driver on row number 6, just ahead of Jeremy Childers in 13th and Brian Lawns in P14. That's going to be an interesting turn 1 for all concerned. Adrian and Krasik are on row number 8, just ahead of Meesters and Tamashiro on row 9. Rounding out the top 20 is Jens Carr in 19th and Mark Smerder, in 20th position. We've got Alfredo Criziani in 21st and Steve Saunders in 22nd place.
Take a look here at 23rd. It's going to be Anthony Ori alongside Sarunas Bruska in 24th. KF Light takes 25th with Norman Wren in 26th. And I have a feeling we're going to run out of time here. Yep, we have run out of time. That is going to be the end of the grid as at the front row, Timothy Ing is looking to try and make a breakaway here. The fight begins.
Indeed it does, and it is a fight straight off the bat because Seafley temporarily had his nose in front. They're going to go side by side into the first couple of corners. The liveries look absolutely stunning, so does the race in the top 3. Despite going side by side, getting a good little breakaway, it has to be said. Van der Lee didn't get the best start off, and he's now got a train of cars behind him. But the top 3 here, absolutely on point with the cornering, and Jacob Seafley has taken the lead early doors, Daniel.
Yeah, well, certainly Ian Joyner there looking to try and make a move up on the inside of that chicane. But you can already see here a couple of drivers going side by side. A couple of drivers realistically trying to get in single file. I see Charles Krasik going side by side here with Ilariano. And that is smoke in the background. We'll take a look, see exactly what's going on. But there has been an incident. And I think Brian Lenz getting caught up in the action potentially as well.
Yeah, Brian Lawns is showing a big drop in positions for me. He's right down at the back of the field now, so I'm not sure what ailed him. He walked up at scene. It looked like a massive concertina effect. I think he lost a few positions before that happened, and Arneo as well. I believe he was caught up in something because he has had a big drop too, but certainly Brian Lawns is now finds himself absolutely in the thick of the action, much like the drivers up here at the front of the field as Timothy Ing retakes the lead as we not even at the end of lap number 1 yet, Daniel.
Well, absolutely fantastic action here. Battles happening all the way down through the field. There's been some charges, there's been some losers. But right now, your Almeida Academy coach, it's Kane Halliburton, driver of the number 17 car, looking to find up more positions. He's already gained 8, made that 9 positions, and he makes his way past Stephen Saunders, the Brit on the inside, one of the community members. As you see smoke ahead, that's Jonathan Hobson off at the final chicane.
Oh yeah, Hobson, the Wall of Champions, almost claiming itself a prospective champion there, and he is going to absolutely tumble down the order as Kane Halliburton does exactly the opposite, same as he did last week. Up at the front though, absolutely nose to tail. Seafley just ahead of Joyner, and Timothy Ing now down into 3rd position, so the drivers up at the top is keen to swap positions as the drivers down the field. Bas van der Lee, well, he is in good range now, Daniel, to get himself a nibble on Timothy Ing's slipstream.
We've certainly got Michael Cords there in the Almeida Racing League chat, cheering him on, certainly saying it'd be good to see Bas get a win. And indeed, I'm inclined to agree with you. It looks like there's more chaos happening further back. Sutton's happened with Tyler Harker. He's currently showing in pit lane. And indeed, Sutton is majorly happening. Charles Krasik now. What's it? Oh, my word. Chaos, panic, and the sort of Dominicus Conservicius getting caught up in a bit of action there as well. We'll take a look very shortly. I think Kane Halliburton may have been caught in some of that as well. Meanwhile, though, action happening all over the field. We're going to return to lead pack, though, as Jacob Seekley currently leading the charge. He's managed to make his way up from second place, but Ian Joyner, a former Almeida Racing League champion, is looking to try and find his way to the front of the pack.
And if he is going to do it, it's going to have to be a masterful overtake. Oh, I'm just having a look at a replay on another screen there. Yeah, that was a big coming together and a lot of rear axle action there. But yeah, Seekley, Joyner and Ing, these top four with Bas van der Leij, as we say, getting cheered on in the chat. The four of them absolutely melting their way along the circuit. And look at the run that Ian Joyner has got. He now finds himself up 2 positions and into the lead of the race. What a start. An opening couple of laps. He saw Timothy Ing has dropped down the order. Bas van der Leij very much looking to take advantage of that situation and get himself into this podium battle. But it has been an absolutely masterful performance so far by 2 drivers on the track. Kane Halliburton, you would certainly expect so. And Ian Joyner, Daniel, he's right up there with him, because that's not the easiest of scalps he's taken in the open couple of laps.
Well, certainly what I am starting to see as well is there's a gap starting to emerge here between the lead pack, the four-way pack, currently being tailed by Bas van der Leij. Now, he's not the most aggressive of drivers. He's going to hang here, and if he's going to make a move, it's going to be nearer at the end of the race. But we are going to catch up on some replays here very shortly. Let's find out what happened at the start of the race with Zoltan Zomator and Jeremy Childers.
Yeah, so here we go, Childers. So showing so much promise this season, getting caught up in an early incident with Zomator, heavy in the braking zone, and a bit of concertina effect there just as they're going round. Yep. And it's the classic concertina. One of the drivers not quite taking into account the amount of extra braking distance required to make sure the extra speed from the slipstream piles in at the back. And there we go. That very reminiscent, unfortunately, of the American F1 driver. Pulling that one under practice. That was a lot of momentum carried into the corner. Here comes Steve Saunders this time, and this one very much a mid-pack collision, Daniel, with a lot of carnage on the other side.
Yeah, you can see quite a few cars getting caught up in that. So what I am seeing a little bit of a pattern here, people leaving it maybe a little bit too late onto the braking zone. But right now, I say that it's about 1.6 seconds clear last time, but in the melee, Kevin Lau has managed to catch him about half of that, and not only that, he's bringing Carly As Castro with him, so we may indeed see a 6-way fight here for the lead. Further back, though, Jonathan Hobson looking to try and make a recovery, and realistically, he's blocked. He's got Kevin Adrian ahead, and Alfredo Cruciani pretty much blocking his way at this point, ethically speaking, blocking his way as Cruciano leads his way through the Wall of Champions.
Indeed, he's making his way through, so I'm just checking. Got more cars in the pit stops as well. There is Kevin Adrian, and he's going to get so much slipstream here. Look at the distance closing, and he backs out of it. So very wise. He realises that, yeah, going side by side there is just going to cost him a whole lot of time and open him up to potentially a double loss of position, given how close the 2 drivers behind him are. They really need to start working together to start closing the gap. He's having to go defensive early as Hobson looking to try and make back some positions. He, like I say, dropped a couple of positions in the opening melee, and this looks like it's going to be if rather than when. Not definitely a tricky track to get the overtakes done, but you would think Hobson is going to be in a good position here. And if Kevin Adrian can play his cards right, Daniel, he could follow him past and find himself losing a position but gaining one in potentially the same corner.
Well, certainly one thing I am starting to see as well, that we did lose Kevin Adrian on the driver counts, but currently he's there in P3 for the club class. So certainly risk versus reward. Hobson competing in the Premier class, so not really a threat to him at this point. But Alfredo Cruciani is there in P2. Further up, though, Philip Falcon, he's got a little bit of a battle here. Zoltan Zomator and Jeremy Childers starting to apply a little bit of pressure as well. That's a battle for P7 overall. Realistically, though, Philip Falcon does not want to get involved with these drivers. But at the front of the pack, Ian Joyner, driver of the number 8, has managed to pull away a little bit of a lead here. He's pretty much broken the drop, but you can see that gap falling down. It was a second, and he's already caught up a 10th. I do have to wonder what these drivers can do to work together, as Seekley, Bas van der Leij and Kevin Lau all duke it out for P3.
Yeah, that's the battle I've been watching on my side monitor here, and I'll tell you what, it is very, very, very close between the 3 of them. And it's as you say, how can they work together to catch up? At the moment, you would think they are perfectly positioned. I mean, I tell you what, that is a lock-up Kevin Lau does not need. He is going to have a tasty little flat spot on that tyre there, bit of a lock-up. And at the moment, it's almost like, do you run this like a cycling peloton? Let the slipstream, let the faster driver easily go in front. Oh, and I tell you what, that's Anthony Ori just ahead of them that we are watching. I tell you what, look how close that is. So I'm still watching the battle up in the front as well, but Kevin Ori certainly, Kane Halliburton getting himself another quick, clean and easy scalp. He really is a rolling testament to just how good the Almeida driving instructors are.
Oh, very much so. Kane Halliburton, a force to be reckoned with. But right now, further back, we've got the like of Brian Lenz. He's had a little bit of battle there with Mark Schmoder that went side by side into the first chicane. You can see just behind him, KF Lie there, trying to apply a little bit of pressure as well. You can see there the concertina of these cars absolutely duking it out. But realistically, behind him, he's about 1.5 seconds clear of the 21st place driver. There's Norman Renner. But you can see there, side by side, so much space being left. And I have a feeling it's going to be an opportunity here for the driver of the 119. He's going to get a good bit of momentum. The problem is...
Van der Lee.
No, that's KF Light.
Sorry, I'm going to... yeah, no, sorry. Can we quickly jump up to Bas van der Lee?
Oh, that's a hit.
Lord, right. I tell you what, that was... Yeah, sorry. That was... My apologies. Like I say, I'm watching that battle and he almost gave Kevin Lau 2 positions there. He went for the overtake on Timothy Ing. I think he's going to try here again. Ing is going to go defensive because he's got no choice because Van der Lee is already signalling his intention. He doesn't want to lose a position to Lau, so he is going to slingshot ahead. And that could be the perfect peloton move, as I just mentioned, to keep the 3 of them moving as quickly as possible. Certainly that's Van der Lee ahead of Seafley and Kevin Lau, who's already up 4 positions. He is sniffing blood in the water here as well, Daniel.
Well, in which case he might be a shark, but right now what I can tell you is Timothy Ing has managed to catch up to the back of Ian Joyner, and the pair of them have pulled away by about 1.8 seconds. Timothy Ing there with the fastest lap on 146.08. Not quite a qualifying pace, but very much with the lead pack. Problem is, are these guys going to duke out, or are they just going to stay single file and try and pull away and keep the likes of Bas van der Lee, Seepley and Lau very clear away from this, try and reduce the odds of a 5-way fight for the lead?
I know, well, hopefully they do everything they can to give us a 5-way fight for the lead. Come on, folks, in the chat, let's see on that one. But yeah, seriously doubt they're going to do that, because at the moment, Kevin Lau and Jacob Seafley are the 2 drivers that are working together to try and keep up with Bas van der Lee. He seems to have extricated himself from that battle ever so nicely indeed, but it does look like Timothy Ing, he is carrying a bit more pace than Ian Joyner ahead of him. Is he going to be content to stay behind, or is he going to be on almost the F1 team radios? Right, I'm faster than my teammate, let me ahead. Obviously they're not teammates, but I think the analogy stands. If you feel you're the faster driver, I'm sure he feels he can pull the both of them away from this pack behind him a lot quicker. But it is a juggling act. We've got 5 minutes left to go. We need much longer races here, I think, Daniel.
Yeah, certainly I do enjoy a good sprint race format, and I'm unsure realistically here what Timothy Ing wants to do. Certainly Ian Joyner looked like he's trying to break the draft, but realistically, there's nothing he can do. He's going to be a sitting duck at this point. It's all going to be about the defensive here. When is going to be the opportune time to make a pass? It's incredibly close to the wall of champions there was the driver of the number 30 car, but keeping an eye a little bit further back. The gap this time over the line, 1.7 seconds. Let's see where it is on the next lap by and see realistically if the likes of Bas van der Lee is starting to catch up. That last lap, a 1/10 of a second quicker than Timothy Ing.
Oh, yes, indeed. Very quick lap. Sorry, I just jumped down because there's more battles that are going on down through the field. I've just jumped back down to 18th position there. 3 wide as my heart jumped into my throat. Very, very, very nice manoeuvring indeed by these drivers. And yeah, as I say, right through the field, they're absolutely going for it. And yeah, Brian Lawns is the driver involved there. Anthony Ori just ahead of him. And KF Lai, who we saw earlier, who we were watching earlier, he's still involved in this battle here as well. Oh, and Lawns has picked himself up a slow down penalty. That is an absolute red rag. Oh, and I tell you what, that is a massive miss of the corner there. Brian Lawns has just completely thrown himself off track and lost himself a whole lot of position as we're on board with Schmerder, who is trying to get himself this move done on KFY, who we already know to be quick, Daniel.
Yeah, certainly KFY on a good day is a force to be reckoned with, but what I can tell you is there's 3 or 4 cars in the pits right now that have certainly got mechanical issues. Certainly Jens Carr, he's there in the 68. Dominicus Conservicius, he's there. And not only that, Marcus Vorpal as well. Steve Saunders had a little bit of an incident a few moments ago as well. I'll have to check in with him a little bit later. But meanwhile, though, looks like Alfredo Cruciani has got to do the impossible, as that is a cheeky little nose in there from Rich Mises. The man may be older, he may be senior, but that was ambitious there. Try to get one up on an academy coach. Fair play. He's got the stones, but can he put them up ahead and move himself up into P13th or 12th?
Yeah, it really was a very nice attempt at a move there. And yeah, why not give it a go? If you're going to get yourself involved in racing side-by-side action, do it with one of the best on the planet and really see how you measure up. Because yeah, if someone else is... Yeah, it takes 2 to tango. when you're overtaken, and note that your dance partner is Kane Halliburton. Even I would certainly have a go at defending, trying to get the overtake, trying to use the slipstream and seeing if I could measure my chops. I don't think it lasts very long, but it would certainly be fun while it did. Back up the field, Zomator and Philip Falcon. I did mention Falcon in the qualifying. He jumped up to 9th place. He's on a good race so far, Daniel, which is just another good race for a good season for him.
Yeah, right now he's currently P1 in the Club Class Championship. Not only that, he's P1 in the Club Class standings in this race as well. He's got about 4 positions clear of the next Club Class driver, that is Ilariano, who's currently going to be attacked here by Kane Halliburton. So that's about to be 1 position more. Here's Halliburton carrying all of that momentum. He's going to get it done as they make their way down towards the chicane.
Indeed, and here we go into the chicane, the heaviest braking zone of the track. Oh yeah, backs right out of it there, having absolutely nothing to do with it. Halliburton, as smooth as you like there. Over those curves. I do love, one of my favourite things about open wheelers, Daniel, is when you get these front wing cams and you see the suspension, or these cameras here, and you actually see the suspension fully working. It's just a marvel. It's a testament to the technology they put in. It's Kevin Lau. Look at him, another driver, absolutely as calm as a coma, carrying so much more speed now into this corner, and that is almost contact on a straightaway, but he does send it in there nicely, and there we go. 2 wheels up in the air, neither of them into the World Champions, but certainly Kevin Lau up into 4th position. Or is he?
One thing I have noticed as well is that Bas van der Lee has pretty much checked out at this point. So now Kevin Lau and Jacob Siepley are going toe-to-toe, wheel-to-wheel, car-to-car. As you see there, Siepley looking to try to make the switch back there as they make their way around turn number 2. But meanwhile, though, at the front of the pack, Ian Joyner is clear of Timothy Ing, albeit by barely a nose. But right there, lurking behind him, our favourite Dutchman this season, is Bas van der Lee, looking to try and find his way up into a higher step on the podium.
Yep, Bas van der Lee getting a lot of cheering in the chat, and he seems very popular in the comedy box as well, rightfully so, as he been gifted a shot at a race win here in the opening race because Joyner and Ing didn't get their affairs sorted out correctly. They could have slingshotted past one another and used these long straights to get themselves a bigger gap. That's not what they've done. And Bas van der Lee, since getting past this battle with Lau and Siepley, oh my good lord above, he has been absolutely on fire. Not quite as on fire as some of these tyres are after the touches with all, but here comes Timothy Ing, full send up the inside. Is he going to manage to make this one stick? Of course, Joyner's going to leave him the right amount of room. Joyner running himself out as wide as possible. He's surely going to have a lot more momentum, and he does indeed, because he was on the wider line. Timothy Ing, Kane Halliburton's picked up a drive-through penalty. Well, there we go. He's human after all. But this battle up at the front, absolutely on a knife edge, and Bas van der Lee still very much a favourite to win this at this point. Daniel, what have we witnessed?
That is the ultimate score there for Bas van der Lee, but Ian Joyner and Timothy Ing coming together, and Joyner is still there, ricocheting, bouncing. He's going to want to tow that car as quickly as possible as the field makes his way by. Bas van der Lee, though, takes the win. He's able to cash in, with Kevin Lau taking second and Jacob Siepley taking third. What an absolutely dramatic end there to the start of race 1. Let's take a look here at the replay.
Yeah, an absolutely incredible end. My mind is completely blown, as you can see here. The two of them go side by side. Yeah, we would have to see it from the other camera angle there. But yeah, two of them making contact on a straight. The side draft would have been slowing them both down. They would have been better separating themselves out. Yeah, as we can see from on board here. Yeah, front and back wheel get tangled. And oh my good lord, that is Hollywood stuff there. It's times like this, Daniel, you're more than grateful that this is sim racing, and oh my goodness me, not real racing. You could certainly get injured in your rig with some of these wheels, but that is a whole lot of backflipping, cartwheeling along the line, and the top two taken out with the end. And Bas van der Lee, he won't be happy with the method, but he will certainly be happy with the win.
Yeah, certainly Mac Larkin there was saying that was the wildest crash of all time. I have a feeling that Ian Joyner will maybe not be as keen. And then good to see Ryan Denner making an appearance here in the chat as well. But let's go over the results here from race 1. Bas van der Lee takes the win to Kevin Lau in second and Jacob Siepley in third. Carl Diaz Castro, he's going to take fourth, with Philip Falcon able to get the club class win in fifth overall. Zoltan Zomator takes sixth with Jamie Childers in seventh. Jonathan Hobson in eighth. Ilariano in ninth and indeed second in the club class. And Anthony Horry taking P10 and third in the club class as well.
Yeah, Kevin Adrian, as you say, finishing 11th position. Good finish for him, just ahead of Brian Lawns, tumbling down the order to 12th. Smerder in 13th with KFY back up to 14th place ahead of Charles Krasnick and Matthew Johnson, 15th and 16th respectively. We've got Bruges finishing in 17th ahead of Safarian. Finishing in 18th, Ren and Tamashiro rounding out the top 20, despite Tamashiro having an early incident.
In 21st was Steve Saunders, with Alfredo Cruciani taking 22nd. Kane Halliburton, your Almeida Academy coach, he was absolutely flying, but picked up a black flag on the final lap. Has to settle for 23rd. Ian Joyner, what an absolute backflip of an event that was. He takes 24th for Timothy Ying right behind in 25th. This could indeed have an effect on their whole race weekend. Rich Meesters takes 26th with Kemal Kasim in 27th. Dominicus Conservicius in 28th with Jens Carr in 29th. Marcus Vorpal in 30th. And then Tyler Harker in 31st. Well, let's take a very quick look here at the starting grid. There is going to be an invert at the top, and you see there Jonathan Hobson takes the pole with Jeremy Childers alongside in second. Zoltan Zomator in third with Philip Falcon in fourth. And then I believe from there they are back. No, Bas van der Lee is the top 8 invert on this occasion. Carl Diaz Castro in 5th. Jacob Seifley in 6th. Kevin Lau in 7th. Indeed, Bas van der Lee in 8th. And the rest of them starting where they finished on that final lap. So this could be a golden opportunity here for Hobson. Is he going to be able to deliver, though, under such immense pressure at the start of race number 2?
Indeed, yep, he has got a fair bit of pressure, but some of that pressure will be alleviated, of course, because Ian Joyner and Timothy Ing are starting 24th and 25th, respectively, and they've got a driver, Kane Halliburton, starting in 23rd. That is 3 very quick drivers in the middle of the field, and that might actually work in the favour of Joyner and Ing, given that they've got Kane Halliburton to follow their way through the field. He could run as a bit of a blocker here for them, but it's going to be, all on Hobson, and he's separated as well, Daniel, by a fair chunk of positions. Yeah, Bas van der Lee is quick, but he's got 7 drivers separating him from Hobson, so even Van der Lee has got a bit. He's got his work cut out when those drivers consist of Lau, Seifley, Castro, Falcon, Zomater, and Childers.
Well, certainly it's going to be an absolute battle. If we take a quick look here at Jonathan Hobson, just how tense is this driver going to be? He looks happy, but he does look like he's sweating a little bit. He's going to have to work hard. Certainly the run to the first corner is going to be absolutely crucial. A standing start here, as it looks like we're just waiting for one driver, maybe 2, to take to the grid, and we'll indeed get this race underway. We should be good to go. There we go. Grid hold is up. Let's get ready to go here live for race number 2. It's going to be a standing start. What are we going to see here from the likes of Jonathan Hobson? Is this going to be a golden opportunity? As away they go, it's going to be a drag race down to turn 1.
It really is a drag race. A whole lot of tyre smoke coming up there as the driver's absolutely jamming on the accelerator with absolute full commitment there. It's a good start by Kevin Lau. Already making up a position. He's snuck one in on Jacob Seifley, so a good scalp to take there. And Philip Falcon getting an absolute rocket start. Oh, Ian Joyner's crashed. We've got an incident with Ian Joyner down the field, and Steve Saunders, I think he's been involved. Ian Joyner has now gone off track again. Joyner now down in 31st position. That is a big drop. Yeah, let's get straight onto it. Straight onto a replay, and he's going to go too wide up the inside. Was there a concertina going on ahead of him? Oh, yep, just takes a little bit of a tap on the inside there, Daniel. 3 wide, doesn't always go on cold tyres on lap number 1, and Joyner really got his work cut out to bring home some points here in race number 2.
Well, what I can see right now is Zoltan Zomator is going to have to deal with the Almeida Academy Chief Operating Officer, and they pretty much dispatched him at that point there, as Carl Diaz Castro manages to find his way up into 4th place. Meanwhile, though, further back in the field, Bas van der Lee trying to find his way forward. He's got the likes of Seifley, Lau ahead of them. All sorts of battles. Your hardest charger, not the driver that is Kane Halliburton. It's actually this gentleman here, Tyler Harker. Now, he is a Connor Bell student, and fair to say, he's absolutely hauling. He's now up 9 positions, 10 positions there, if you can clear Alfredo Cruciani.
Indeed, yeah, that is some number of scalps to be taking in the opening stages. He's got Tamashiro ahead of him. Oh, someone just blinking in and out of the servers. We do love the latency. Keeps it extra spicy, but yeah, Harker looking to take it beyond double figures. Kane Halliburton's already made up 8 places. Timothy Ing is up 7 himself, and there is Halliburton getting involved in more action. All hail every driver that made it through there successfully. That is a code brown, if ever I've seen one, Daniel. Krasnick and the gang really having to hang on to those direct drive wheels. as Timothy Ing takes another couple of scalps into a heavy braking zone. He is carving through the field like Halliburton here.
Yeah, so Leon needs found the door very quickly closed there. Nathan Safarian looking to try and cover that move up on the inside himself, and Charles Krasik had a little bit of a hold up going through the wall of champions, and indeed that opened the door there for Timothy Ing. But it looks like there's been more action further back. Marcus Vorpal potentially getting into an incident as well. Jenska and Dominicus Consavicius. We'll take a quick look at the replay.
Yeah, Vorpal, Consavicius, and car on board with Vorpal here. Coming. Oh yeah. This is a tricky one. Yeah, it's the two cars ahead. Just go side by side. Vorpal carrying a lot of momentum. The car ahead not really paying deference to that. Pulling back onto the driving line, and Vorpal is going to be pulling into the pit. Oh, wow. That looked like a big incident there. Rich Meesters. Someone making contact with him. So I believe at first view that is a lock-up on the way into the braking zone, which has seen Meesters absolutely pile-driven into the wall in this one, Daniel, with Consavicius.
Yeah, I had a feeling Alfredo Cristiani may have got involved in that as well. That looked like the Ferrari liveried car, despite the fact we're driving a Formula Ford. Not that I've got anything against putting, no, I'm calling it. Yeah, you know exactly what I mean. But the shirtless wonder himself, Kevin Adrian, currently P2 here in the club class. It's going to be a fight between himself and Ilariano, the Finnish driver, as realistically, this is the battle for P10 overall, but KF Lai getting into the mix as well. We've got a freeway fight there as they go through the final gate, and that's contact there for Ilariano. Gets turned around by Kevin Adrian, and that is absolutely catastrophic. Is he going to be able to keep that car rolling? We'll take a quick look. He might have got away with that.
Wow. He needs to go buy a lottery ticket immediately. As soon as this race is finished, lottery ticket. That is absolutely incredible. I was just talking the other day about how Scandinavian drivers, have to sit two driving tests. I mean, that is incredible. That's not even about the driver there. That is just the game physics. I mean, that for all the world, Daniel looked like he was going to lose at least a bit of suspension there, but no, he is still cracking on.
Well, certainly speaking of cracking on, the driver of the 192, Philip Falcon, is not just looking at a P1 in the club class right now. He's looking at a potential P3 overall, which would actually be the highest result that I can certainly recall there for the driver of the 192. This could be really promising, but Carl Diaz Castro, he's won races before. I think he came second there in the club class back when we was running the MX-5. What's he going to have to say about it? Indeed, it's going to be an absolute battle lurking there in the background, though. Kevin Lau, as you see multiple battles going on. Looks like Timothy Ing getting into some action here again as well.
Indeed, yeah, battles going on up at the front. Charles Krasik has just lost the back of the car, and he's almost taken out Tyler Harkar, who's gone on to have another incident as we watch Timothy Ing up at the front of the field. Of course, he is trying to get himself a bit of redemption after race number 1. That contact on the final sector of the race saw him start this one in 24th position. He is now back up to 14th place and creeping ever closer to those much needed top 10 points where Kane Halliburton has already made his way up to. So and Tyler Harkin as well. Oh, whoa. Brian Lawns.
Yeah, definitely not what Brian had in mind there. He's definitely run a little bit wide. There is suspension damage to the back of that car. But what we could see there just a moment ago, KF Lai really breaking up the draft. Let's take a look here, see what happened to Brian.
Yes, he goes side by side. I'm just watching it there on my spare screen there. He goes side by side. There was enough room left for sure, but he just attacks the curbs all wrong, and it is good night Vienna, back end out and into the wall the wrong way. I think Charles Krasik actually might have just come through that same corner as well. I'm just checking the replay on that. Yeah, so Brian, Charles Krasik has been caught up by exactly the same thing. He's hit the curbs all wrong. He's ended up in the middle of the track. And then rolling off, almost collecting 3 cars as well, but thankfully everyone survived. But Krasik got beached on the sausage curb and had to tow back to pit lane, Daniel.
Well, what I can tell you as well is we actually have 6 cars currently there with the it's not the flag of Italy, it is a meatball flag, and certainly there's 6 drivers there with that. Brian Lenz, Charles Krasik, Sarunas Bruska, Lance Tamashiro, Rich Mason, indeed Marcus Vorpal, all having a little bit of an early retirement here. But meanwhile, though, Timothy Ing has managed to clear the likes of Mark Schmurder, but for how long? Schmurder looking to fight back with Anthony Ori lurking back there in P14 as well. Meanwhile, though, at the front of the pack, Jonathan Hobson, what a defense from him so far. He's held on for 7 minutes. He's almost halfway there, but what is the likes of Carl Diaz Castro going to do? He's cleared Philip Falcon. He's stayed ahead of Kevin Lau. You see side by side in the background, actually, Lau making his way past the club class leader of Philip Falcon. But meanwhile, though, Jacob Seepley about 2 seconds behind. He's very much out of this fight, but the front of the pack, I have a feeling we're going to start to see sparks flying very shortly.
Yes, indeed. We are getting very much to the business end of the race as we approach the halfway mark. The drivers will have gathered their data on one another. That is for absolutely sure. And Hobson's time up at the front is certainly in some severe jeopardy as Kyle Diaz-Castro, as you mentioned, Daniel, he's got some winning pedigree here, some podium pedigree. He knows how to get the job done. So too Childers. Childers not having the best race number 1, certainly making improvements here in race number 2, and Kevin Lau not far behind, so the 3 ahead could end up doing exactly what we saw the leaders in race 1 do, and letting the rest of the field straight back in. 5-way fight for the lead, and absolutely here for it every second of the day, Daniel.
Well, what an absolutely phenomenal battle here as who we affectionately known as the Panda, Mr. Kyle Diaz-Castro, is currently there in P3 carrying all sorts of momentum. Now, Jeremy Childers, he is a big IndyCar fan. Certainly he'd be happy with what's happening in Markham right now. We got the Honda dealers Markham Indy happening there, as well as NASCAR Canada, which you'll see your very own Almeida Academy coach, Mr. Connor Bell. He's going to be racing in that in the number 3 for Diamond Storage. You've also got the M-Zone Radical Cup Canada, which is what I've been commentating so far this year. Didn't manage to make it out there to Markham. Certainly, I'm going to be back there at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park on Labor Day weekend. But let's get back here to the real race. And Jonathan Hobson currently leading by under 2 tenths per second. That gap behind, you see there, Childers getting ever closer, almost touching the tailpipe of the number 86.
Yep, and all that's done is let the absolute slingshot expert.
Oh!
There's been contact. Oh, Castro with the slipstream, and he just completely unsighted for Hobson, Daniel, and he is doing an Austin Powers 37-point turn, coming back on, and yeah, big contact there. That drops him out of the battle and puts Kevin Lau right in the hunt now for second position, with Childers and Falcon close in behind.
Well, at this point, we're about 6 minutes left to go and about a 1.5 second gap. This could be exactly what Jonathan Hobson needs. He's got the gap. He's clear of the slipstream. Is it going to be enough, or will the driver, a regular podium contender, the driver of the number 88, will it be enough? Will indeed Kevin Lau be able to apply the pressure and find his way to the top step of the podium?
Yep, an absolute battle between these two, and both as calm as a coma in those chairs when they're separated by not much at all, considering how long we've got rest of the race, and the fact that Kevin Lau has got a whole lot of slipstream coming along with him. He's got Childers and Falcon not too far behind, and that is Jakob Seepley as well in 5th position, looking to get himself involved too. So if Kevin Lau can bring the thunder, which we think he can, Bas van der Lee and the team might not be too far behind. Oh, that's Jens Kaart that's going off the track. I thought that was Seepley, but nope. It's Jens Kaart, as there is more battles here. This is Schmerder still getting involved. Absolute scenes right through the... Oh, that's gone a bit close. And that is some good stars, that's it. Right through the field, Daniel.
Well, you can see that despite the fact the Formula 1600 being such an incredibly light car, the brake rotors were absolutely glowing. And realistically, Anthony Ori, he had the gap, and he found that he had nowhere to go. Certainly, Meatloaf would not have been a bat out of hell on that occasion. You see the gap. He's being absolutely pinched there by Mark Schroeder. I mean, it's a legit move, but how's it going to work out around the Wall of Champions? His teammate, well, potentially Mark Schroeder's teammate there, fellow German driver, Zoltan Zomator, could he capitalize on this? As Ian Joyner looking to make a recovery despite the fact he had an incident as they go 3 wide across the start finish.
Indeed it is. It's going to be an absolute scare 'em turn 1 here as the drivers do go 3 wide. 2 of them almost backing out of that there, letting Ian Joyner through. Look to use this. Oh, one of them's down. It's Schmerder. Schmerder's gone off track. He's locked up. He's lost the back, and 4 becomes 3 with Ian Joyner 3 positions to the better, Daniel.
Well, I've got to say, that was, as you'd be very familiar, a little bit of a jammy move, but taking a look further up through the field, this entourage of cars from P1 to P6, they're cleared by about 3.2 seconds of the Almeida Academy coach, driver of the number 17, Kane Halliburton. I say that as talented as Kane is, I'd be surprised if we can catch up 3.5 seconds at this point. But Jonathan Hobson, he's been in the lead, and he's extended that lead. He's cleared by about 2.3 seconds. As you can see further back, though, John Wright is about to blow a gasket, and side by side they go. Childers and Lau fighting out for P number 2.
There we go, yeah, Lau making a little bit of a mistake over the curves. He just went a little bit sideways. That's opened the door for Jeremy Childers to really come and step on through. And Jakob Seifle is right in the hunt as well. We've seen what he can do in race 1. He did go a bit backwards. He's got a point to prove in this race as well. And he's looking to prove it by getting back up into third place. All this playing in the hand of Hobson as Kevin Lau is back ahead of Jeremy Childers. They're going to go 3 wide as here comes Philip Falcon as well. And Bas van der Lee is rubbing his hands together here, Daniel. And so are his fans, because he's right in the hunt as they're looking to go side by side and out into the wall of champions right at the end of the race here.
Well, what I am starting to find out between these drivers is realistically just then it was a drag race between Seifle and Childers, and there wasn't really any space for Seifle to go. Like, he had the momentum, he had the pace, but the door was very firmly shut. As you see there, clear by about half a second in that second corner was Lau. This could be the opportunity he needs. Further back though, Philip Falcon, it's not making a difference to him that he's in the club class. He's trying for every point he possibly can. And I think it's realistically his biggest goal right now is just to bring the car home. Bas van der Lee, he's a keen driver, but he's not a fool. He's not going to send it in unless the door is very widely open.
Indeed he is. And speaking of doors widely open, Kyle Diaz-Castro almost leaving the door open for Timothy Ing. I'm going to keep an eye on that battle. Yeah, there we go. These two still absolutely going for it as well. Ing and Diaz-Castro both fighting for as many points as they can. They've had a difficult race too, it is safe to say, and they are going to go side by side along the straight. This isn't going to help either of their top speeds, that's for sure. There's the beautiful Panda on the side. I'm going to have to say, with my daughter's love of Pandas, I am a Diaz-Castro fan, and at the moment he is just out dragging Timothy Ing. He keeps the nose ahead into the braking zone. Very respectful by Timothy Ing, but he's going for the cutback, Daniel.
Yeah, certainly Timothy Ing is carrying all sorts of momentum here as they go side by side, almost banging wheels there as they make their way down to the hairpin. To the right, further back there, you see KF Light. He has been incredibly great. That's a lock-up there from Diaz-Castro. He runs wide. Timothy Ing finds his way through, but further back, though, is this going to be an opportunity here for the driver of the 110, Kevin Adrian. He's bringing Ian Joyner with him, and KF Light, very feisty today. Let's take a look here. Back at P2, though. Side by side they go. Jacob Seifle really duking it out with Kevin Lau. Side by side, contact. They hold on to it, and this is going to be an opportunity here for Childers. He's going to have the momentum, but is he going to have the real estate? Philip Falcon starting to jet away now.
Yeah, never mind any of those drivers. Here comes Bas van der Lee. He is full Leroy Jenkins along this start-finish straight. I can assure you, he almost got himself a 2-3 position gain. And I tell you what, he still might, because he's got himself past Jeremy Childers. He really came flying out that corner as the drivers ahead of him went side by side on the exit onto the wall of champions. Absolutely, where Angels fear to tread and Childers. He's picked up a slow down penalty, so that has rocketed Bas van der Lee ahead. I mean, surely not 2 races in a row, Daniel, we're going to see Bas van der Lee win it, because drivers ahead have gone side by side and made contact, but where they're going side by side at the minute, anything can happen in these cars.
Yeah, certainly it all comes down to risk versus reward. You see there, Bas van der Lee trying to clear the club class driver of Philip Falcon. Jeremy Childers trying to actually make a clearance here on Kane Halliburton. So despite the fact he's 3.5 seconds back, Kane Halliburton has joined the party. Look at the momentum he's got there. He's got to run potentially on Jeremy Childers. All he's got to keep that's a new phrase. All he's got to do is keep in behind here the driver of the 192. Keep that draft going and try and make a run down the outside.
Yep, and you've got to be impressed there. Daniel breaking a world record for the largest curse of the commentator ever bestowed. That was 7 drivers. He said Kane was 3 seconds behind, and what did you do? You cursed every one of them. Halliburton, he heard that, and he has got a point to prove. He is catching up, he is overtaken. He's now up to 6th position. Only 17 places. Kane, half measures. Come on, we need a bit more impressive from that. Up at the front, it is still as you were between Seifle and Lau. Oh, and that is so close. They did go side by side very quickly, going nose to tail. But Jonathan Hobson, he is going to bring himself home a very well-deserved race win, and a checkered flag there, and a big smile on that big, handsome, bearded face there as Seifle and Lau go side by side across the line. As Lau in 3rd place, Falcon up in 4th position. Let's go the silver class. You absolutely love to see it, Daniel.
Well, you see here, Kemal Kasim is going to try and make a move here at the very end. Mark Smurder, 0.2 of a second ahead. He's got a little bit of a slipstream, but is he going to have enough? No, the start-finish closes in. He's going to have to settle for P number 17 overall. Further back, though, what can we see here? Jens Carr currently clear of Matthew Johnson. That's going to stay as it is. Johnson's going to have to settle for P10 in the club class and P22 overall. But what can I say? A few casualties here at race number 2. As I say, that's a little bit of celebration there from Jens Carr. Whee!
That is one of the best liveries I've ever seen. As a Scotsman, I can confirm many happy hours on the roundabout going wee. So massively on board with that classic. Crossing the line close to the end, but another absolute barn burner there, Daniel, but for completely different reasons. It was a similar battle up in the top 5, but the race winner very much running away with it after being handed a free pass with a battle going on behind him.
Yeah, it really couldn't have got any better there for Jonathan Hobson. He once he pulled away that gap, they started fighting amongst themselves. That was pretty much it. But what we are going to do, though, is go over your B main results, your race 2 results. Jonathan Hobson takes the win. Wait for it. There you go. With Jacob Seepley in second. Kevin Lau will take third with Philip Falcon. Another absolutely stellar performance today. He takes P4 overall and indeed P1 in the club class. 7 positions clear of Kevin Adrian further down the grid. Bas van der Lee takes 5th with Jamie Childers in 6th. Kane Halliburton making his way all the way up to 7th for Timothy Ing in 8th. Kalias Castro in 9th, and then Ian Joyner, again, a great recovery from him, settling for P number 10.
Indeed, yeah, with Kevin Adrian just behind him in 11th. KF Lau, what a series of races he's had so far, finishing in 12th. Zoltan Zomator in 13th, and it's Anthony Ori, Tyler Harker with a great race number 2, making up multiple places to finish. In 15th, it was Mark Smerder in 16th with Kemal Kassim in 17th place. Dominicus Concevicius in 18th with Alfredo Cruciano, and Steve Saunders rounding out the top 20.
And as we look here at P21, it was Jens Carr with Matthew Johnson taking 22nd, so a little bit of that battle near the very end. Norman Rinner takes 23rd with Nathan Safarian in 24th. Ilari Arnio taking 25th with Charles Krasik in 26th. Brian Lenz definitely had a little bit of a rough day for him. He's there in 27th with Sarunas Bruska in 28th. Lance Tamrashino in 29th. And then Rich Meesters rounding out your top 30 with Marcus Vorpal taking the 31 car result screen. Well, what can I say? An absolute belter of a couple of races so far. But let's take a short break here and have a message from Swello himself.
Now he's here teaching all his secrets to all these drivers. This is Almeida Racing Academy,
where every champion has a starting line.
The sim racer turned real world superstar, Swello Almeida.
It's Connor Bell racing in his own backyard for the very first time in the NASCAR Canada Series.
The workshops helped out so much. Something about battling with somebody faster than you, it just pushes you that little bit further, and I was able to just keep developing my skill.
I can kind of commit more with the exit there. That was good. If you do take sim racing seriously, it does impact your racing technique for the rest of your life.
I know how the car is going to perform around these corners because the model I have in the sim. Just the benefit of sim racing when you go into real life, I don't think people quite realize it yet.
You have infinite track time is the biggest factor. You are able to try so many things, and the physics that are simulated in the sim nowadays, especially iRacing, are so close to real life.
Creating champions.
Swello Almeida is a master at his craft. He's outclassed a Le Mans driver, a European Le Mans Series racer.
These guys are among the top 0.02% in the world.
Designed to create champions.
First NASCAR Canada start. First NASCAR victory for Connor Bell.
Connor Bell standing on the podium here today.
This is the Almeida Racing Academy 3.0.
Wait a race, buddy, wait a race.
Good evening, folks. Welcome back to more coverage of round number 8 here on Pit Road Productions. It's the Almeida Racing Academy. We can maybe get them a cheeky little rebrand. That does seem, there you go. That one is a freebie, folks. But yeah, welcome back. I'm sure you're all still here, hopefully well hydrated. The blood will guarantee to be pumping after the 2 races that we've seen so far. We've still got the feature to come, Daniel, and the feature is somewhat of an understatement given what we've seen so far.
Indeed it is, and what an absolute treat we've had here at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. But certainly we love the...
Now he's here teaching all his secrets to all these drivers.
I hit the right button as well. Let's try that again. That's the one I was wanting. We just had a message from Swello, but indeed, let's check out the merch here. Almeida Racing Academy has teamed up with Livery, certainly one of the top merch providers on the planet, and by all means check out the shop here. We are told it is no longer pre-order. You are able to actually get this stuff. So certainly the Almeida Vintage Brand Tee, certainly out of the two, it's the one I prefer. It looks a little bit even classier in my opinion. That is yours and available for $40. If you fancy something a little bit more universal, by all means check out one of the hats. Or if it's a little bit chillier, certainly Reese Gardner would currently benefit from one of these as well. Check out the Almeida brand quarter zip sweater as well. What an absolute belter. And there is I did see a discount there if you spend $100 or more. So certainly it's good that you be part of the crew, but why not be part of the merch as well?
Indeed, yeah, and as a Scotsman, I can tell you, I wouldn't mind one of those fleeces myself. If they did the fleece in the same colour as those t-shirts that I've already got on order, that would be another sale that would be heading my way. That is a colour combination I do particularly like. It's one of the, oh, there we go. New free car required. That's why it says it on the side. He really does need a new free car. That was abuse of the highest order. Really testing the limits of the track and trying to find where the grip is, Daniel. We'll save his blushes there.
Yeah, that's one way of putting it. Very polite way of putting it there. Jens Carr, a fellow Englishman. You can't level with that one. You're a Scotsman there, John. Sorry, buddy. But let's take a look here at the grid for the final race of the day here. And starting on the front row, it's going to be Jonathan Hobson with Jacob Seekley in second. Third place will be Kevin Lau with Philip Falcon in fourth. Basically the same place as where they started, finished for race 2. Bas van der Lee takes fifth with Jeremy Childers in sixth. Kane Halliburton in seventh, and then Timothy Ing in ninth. Rounding out your top 10 though, Carl Diaz-Castro with Ian Joyner taking 10th. We're not going to go through the full grid, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to get right to the action. You see Jonathan Hobson there. He did it once. Can he do it again? Starting on the front row here for Circuit Gilles Villeneuve, round 8, race number 3.
Yeah, and here we go. They have got 2.7 miles of tarmac to make their way around. They are well accustomed to driving with one another. And on the surface at hand, we will be off and running. As soon as the lights dip, it's going to be Hobson and Seafley on the front row, but Philip Falcon, Bas van der Lee and Jeremy Childers are going to be right in there as well. The tyre smoke, everyone gets the foot absolutely flat down, and it's a good start by Hobson with Seafley getting a good start as well, and it's already side by side for Bas van der Lee and Jeremy Childers. A bit of chopping and changing down through the field. Ian Joyner and Kyle Diaz-Castro going side by side, and Kane Halliburton, unsurprisingly, Daniel, already making up positions in the first couple of corners.
Yeah, he's not a man who's going to wait for somebody else there. He's definitely keen to make some moves there as he's already made his way up ahead of Jeremy Childers. Further back though, Brian Lenz has managed to slingshot himself forward 3 positions as well. I say that too as Norman Rinn looking to fight back here. He's driving the number 11 car. Overall though, a very clean start here for the final race of the day.
I was just about to say that all 31 drivers good to go off of the start line. Everyone making it through the first couple of corners, so they really have taken that data from the first couple of races. So has Jacob Seafley. He's taken the data from the first race, the second race, and he said, you know what, I'm not letting Hobbs go away with this one, and they're going to go side by side. Hobbs, so much momentum that Kevin Lau is going to have a nibble, and here comes Philip Falcon getting himself involved as well. Did someone say Bas van der Lee, Daniel?
Yeah, I can see Bas van der Lee. He's sized up the situation, but he's got Kane Halliburton up on his inside. But what I say though, Seafley, while able to make the pass, did realistically check up the back of the field a little bit, which fair play is a solid strategy. He's cleared by 6 tenths per second. I have a feeling we're going to see that gap disappear as I can hear contact and I can see an onslaught. There is a absolute cluster that may have just occurred. It looks like all the cars have merged okay. Let's take a look here at the replay.
Yeah, I think it's Norman Rinn, Brian Lawns and Charles Krasik. 100% corners fault. Right, okay, that's an inside joke that I will get clued in on shortly. Oh, car up the inside, Norman Rinn making contact. That's yeah, Brian Lawns. He's made contact with, he's collected himself some suspension, and yeah, Lawns is off the track and limping back to the pits as Jakob Seafley is looking to hold on to a very well gained lead here in race number 3, Daniel.
Yeah, it looks like he must have had an absolutely giga leap there on Jonathan Hobson. You can already see that the second pack is starting to mix it up. Let's see if we can find the pass for the lead.
Yeah, here we go then. Jonathan Hobson setting himself in 3rd position. Kevin Lau. Oh, he's going full defensive. I tell you what, that is some serious defensive work that he's got going on. Seafley holding on to the lead as Hobson holding on to the slipstream. The top 3 getting a very good breakaway because Bas van der Lee is the driver leading the chasing pack. Oh, Norman Rins just had another incident, so his suspension absolutely shot. Oh, and that almost looked like contact there.
Well, let's
No,
take
it
a look
wasn't. Bas
here.
van der Lee still going. Yes.
I did have that replay queued up and I've lost it, so you carry on, John. I'll find it again.
Yes, indeed, we shall indeed carry on. Much like Bas van der Lee is just up ahead of him. The view that he's got of the battle ahead will certainly be promising to him. As you can see, those three cars absolutely on top of him. Here we go then, safely in the slipstream, getting the move done with Kevin Lau in very close attendance, Daniel. Very close attendance, goodness me.
Yeah, so that was the pass for the lead. It was the one I thought it was earlier. There we go. As right now you see Bas van der Lee is indeed... he's leading that second pack, and further up through the field there, Jonathan Hobson is not taking this line down. You can see Seapley ahead. Looks like Timothy Ing getting into some action a little bit further back as well. And he's got Ian Joyner to play with. What could possibly go wrong? Joyner gets a little bit loose there by the wall of champions. What a save, though. Timothy Ing has seen the opportunity, but is he going to be able to make it count there? Joyner, defensive down towards turn one.
And I tell you what, that is very close indeed there, the wall of champions. That is an absolutely champion level save to keep it out of the wall.
Oh,
Look
he's
how close
loose.
they are. Philip Falkins in this. Oh, and he's... I don't think so. Is Timothy Ing fully aware of the type of car? Sorry, is Ian Joyner fully aware of the type of car he's driving? He's driving it like a go-kart here. As Timothy Ing is trying to get past. And I tell you what, Philip Falkin, I've mentioned him twice now, he is going to get himself involved in this battle. This is now about to become a 17-way battle for 6th position. Kane Halliburton seems to be the cork in the bottle at this point. I never thought I'd find myself saying that statement out loud. Diaz Castro and Ian Joyner not far behind them. Joyner certainly having all the fun of the fair behind the wheel of that car. And yeah, Halliburton, as we can see, chasing down Jeremy Childers, but Diaz Castro and Joyner very close behind him indeed.
Yeah, certainly one thing Kane Halliburton is not is a cork in the bottle. I think you're full of it on that one. But let's take a look here at the front of the pack. Kevin Lau has managed to slingshot himself there. Now, we've seen him be pretty potent before. As you see there, Halliburton having to deal with Childers. He does not care. This is an academy coach working the brakes hard, and he's going to try and tuck in right behind Bas van der Lee. Now, this is absolutely... Oh, my gosh, that's tight. A little bit of a nudge there from Halliburton, and I get why he wanted to tuck in. This is one of the things we've seen so far. In a straight line, if you do not have the slipstream, the other car is literally just going to sail by you. And look at it now. Bas van der Lee, there's nothing he can do. He's driving honorably, and Jeremy Childers is absolutely slingshotting up behind him. You see there, Kane Halliburton will not be able to break out that draft and make a pass. As right there they go, past the wall of champions. But at the front of the pack, though, we're going to see free wide here. They're going for it. Free wide into turn one. What could possibly go wrong? Hobson there on the grass.
Yeah, already got T-wheels on the grass. We've got Kevin Lau shoots his way through that perfect middle line there, and Hobson and Seapley going absolutely side by side. Here comes Bas van der Lee. He's not far behind, and Hobson might be... Seapley might be about to lose another position. Seapley gets himself involved. I seem to be lagging a little bit behind, but there we go. Let me just hit refresh. We'll get ourselves back up as Bas van der Lee will go on board there. He's got Seapley just ahead of him. Seapley making a good attempting a good overtake and defensive move there, but Kevin Lau getting him absolutely banged to rights with that solid middle line there, Daniel.
Yeah, certainly Kevin Lau, no slouch behind the wheel. Your fastest lap, though, just belonged to the Almeida Academy coach of Kane Halliburton. He's into the 146.32s. Absolutely sent it, certainly the front of the pack, into the 147.8 on that last time round. But what I can tell you, though, is that the battle for the lead goes all the way back to P10. Now, Philip Falcon's leading the club class yet again. I'm seeing a pattern here. He's 2.2 seconds clear of Tyler Harker. It's fair to say he's in no man's land, and not only that, he's going to want to try and stay clear of the pack of fighting that is occurring behind him, with Kemal Kasim and Dominicus Conservicius duking it out. Meanwhile, though, at the front of the pack, Hobson's managed to find his way to the lead.
Indeed he has, yeah, so it's all changed up at the top once again. If anyone's wondering why I was so enthusiastic at the broadcast, may I introduce evidence A. Sorry, I've completely ruined that joke, but let's crack on with what's going on over the front, because Hobson and Lau swapping positions once again on the way out of the Wall of Champions, and Jakob Seapley and Bas van der Lee still very close in attendance, and Jeremy Childers, he's still got Kane Halliburton behind him. Childers on for a good drive considering how long he's had Halliburton behind, but Halliburton, you would think he's going to take some positions very, very soon indeed.
Oh, a little bit of a check up there from Jeremy Childers, giving Bas van der Lee a little bit of a hint, a little bit of a nudge, saying, hey Bas, I'm right here, I'm right behind you. You can see the momentum that Childers was carrying. He's certainly certainly applying pressure as we have a new fastest lap here, and it's into the 1 minute 45s. It's Timothy Ing, and he's got Ian Joyner right there behind him by about 0.2 of a second.
Yeah, these two working very well together in the slipstream, clearly. Oh, and that is very close, and they're all getting checked back up this battle, as I said, all the way back to 10th position, where we find that Philip Falcon just the rear gunner in this battle at the moment. Ian Joyner, we know he's not shy of an overtaking. He'll certainly be encouraged when he sees Kane Halliburton going side by side up ahead of him. Because, yeah, it's a lot easier to get the overtake done if there's another one going on ahead of you. It gives you that extra slipstream impetus, as Kane Halliburton still trying to find his way past Jeremy Childers. Childers putting on a phenomenal performance to fend him off so far, but it's going to be a case of if rather than when, or when rather than if, and I tell you what, that's how much quicker he is. He almost got Bas van der Lee there. That's how much more momentum he carries through the corner as he does finally get this overtake done, Daniel.
At this point, I don't think the overtake is done even in the slightest. These two guys are duking it out, and you see that ahead of him. Bas van der Lee could realistically decide the outcome of this battle. Right now, Kane Halliburton is going to get the draft. As look at this, though. Timothy Ing has joined the party. He's trying to find his way around. Carl Diaz Castro sneaks up on the inside of Halliburton. Banging a little bit of wheels there. Diaz Castro nudges the wall, and then Ian Joyner coming for a fight as well. We're going to see freeways all the way down to turn 1.
And Kane Halliburton has just lost 2 positions in 1 corner. Stop the presses. He is human after all. As Joyner and Ing taking the spots. Diaz Castro leaving his mark on the wall of champions and leaving a position inside the top 7. So he now finds himself down into 9th place, and it's absolutely nip and tuck. And I tell you what a battle that Jeremy Childers finds himself in, Daniel. We were talking about his progression throughout the season. It's great to see the progress that he's made. I mean, he's holding his own with Seafley, Hobson, Van der Lee, Ing, Joyner, Halliburton, Diaz Castro. Outstanding performance by Jeremy Childers at the moment.
Yeah, he's put on an absolutely fantastic defence there. And right now he's got Bas van der Lee behind him. Not only that, he's got Timothy Ing and Ian Joyner. This is 2 drivers that realistically should have locked out the front row of the podium, and they had that absolutely monumental collision together. Just how fired up are these drivers? Are they going to take it peacefully, or are they going to see this as a chance for redemption here? Realistically, multiple cars stand in their way, and none of these guys are going to be a pushover. But Kevin Lau currently leading the charge. It's Jacob Seepley there, trying to carry a little bit of extra momentum.
Sorry, Halliburton going for a move there. He's just taking Ian Joyner. Ian Joyner's going to come straight back at him. He's going to come... Oh, he had the wider line on the corner exit, so Joyner just getting his nose back ahead of him. But is it all going to be for naught? We've seen how good Halliburton is on the brakes. Exceptionally good, as you would expect. And they're going side by side with cars going side by side ahead of them. So they're both getting the slipstream. Halliburton gets his nose ahead into the braking zone. You'll see them.
Oh, my word. Well, I think that panda saw a piece of bamboo or something for a second, because it was a very sudden move. I almost passed out seeing that one. But Kane Halliburton's managed to hold on. Bas van der Lee dropped back pretty heavily in that, though. We'll take a look here and see what happened to him in just a moment. But what an absolutely incredible battle here at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve.
Indeed, yeah. There is a reason race drivers and fans love this track as much as they do. Here we are on board with Bas van der Lee. He's got Timothy Ing on that inside line. Just slows up a bit on the way through. It didn't look like there was much to do about nothing there, actually.
Yeah, I just think he lost a little bit of momentum there, as now it looks like Ian Joyner is looking to try and contend with him. And there you see Jeremy Childers back on the defensive again. Timothy Ing trying to get up on the inside, and it's fair play. He's definitely side by side. He's got that inside line, but how is this going to go? You see Kane Halliburton lurking behind, and he's got the momentum, and the door very firmly closed. Has to be a little bit of evasive action there. Childers absolutely perfect. Timothy Ing, though, able to clear 0.4 of a second in the process.
Indeed, yeah, absolutely. White knuckle battles, no quarter given nor asked, but still as respectful as possible there. And Kane Halliburton trying to get the move finally done on Childers. This one's been a few laps making. Halliburton ended up losing a couple of positions. He's now reignited this battle, and all he's doing is bringing Ian Joyner along with him. At this point, though, Joyner is behind Jeremy Childers. I thought he would be following the slipstream of Kane Halliburton, but he doesn't fancy that inside line. Or does he fancy going 3 wide, Daniel?
That is brave, and there's contact there between Childers and Halliburton a little bit there on the front. Childers able to survive, but he's going to get a slowdown from that. Definitely a little bit unfortunate. What absolutely stellar defense there for the driver. He's actually picked up a meatball flag, right rear.
Oh no, his right rear tyre absolutely gone. So absolute heartbreak for Childers. Was having the drive of his life there, right up at the top end of the field. Yeah, and the thing is, yeah, it was the initial contact that buckled the suspension. He's done really well there to keep it out of the wall, Daniel. He's going to be devastated after saving it like that. That he's getting the meatball after all.
Well, at least on the upside, he'll get something to eat. Certainly myself, I'm down about due for some food. But right now, you can see at the front of the pack, Kevin Lau, the driver of the number 88. He's been pretty potent so far this season, and not only that, in previous seasons as well. Is he going to be able to hold off Jonathan Hobson? Now, it is his debut season in the number 86, but Jacob Seepley is lurking behind him, as is Timothy Ing. He's managed to clear Ian Joyner by 1.5 seconds, but we still have 6.5 minutes left to go in this race. Can Joyner find his way back to this pack and indeed onto the podium?
Indeed, yeah, Joyner with a point to prove, and he's got Kane Halliburton just behind him. So two very, very, very quick drivers, more than capable catching up at the front. Timothy Ing, he's more concerned with ahead of him. He's in a better position should the two behind catch up, or when the two behind catch up. A couple of late incidents as well throughout the field, so the driver's struggling as we getting close to the 15-minute mark of the race. We've got Arneo Johnson and KF Lau all having, while the drivers up at the front, all having, and imagine palpitations at just how close they're getting to one another as they're going to go three wide. No, they're not. They're backed right out of it there. This is Arneo, who'd already picked up some damage there, I think.
Yeah, I think so. That point, something definitely happened to the something definitely happened to the Finnish driver there, as right now you see Kane Halliburton going side by side here with the likes of Ian Joyner. Lurking in the background though, you have Bas Vanderlee, Carl Diaz, Castro, indeed Tyler Harker starting to come into the mix as well. He's managed to find his way up into the club class lead ahead of Philip Falcon, who is realistically this season been Mr. Consistency. But back at the front of the pack though, Kevin Lau still holding on to the race lead.
He is indeed. He is holding the firm attention of Hobson, Seafley and Ing behind him. Ing lurking, waiting on his move. I think he is playing the Predator here. He knows he's got another couple of laps to play with before he's got to force the issue, and he doesn't need to force the issue with the slipstream that he's getting. The three drivers ahead of him, though, are driving absolutely perfectly at the moment, and it's going to be no easy task whenever he does to try and decide to get it done. Lau at the moment, he's been leading for a significant amount of time, got an absolutely solid overtake done to take the lead, and he has held it since he did. Oh, and just as I say that, he doesn't lock up because of the commentator. He's off on the grass, he's tumbling down the order, he's going to get back on just... Oh no, he's behind Halliburton, he's going to be behind Joyner as well, as Timothy Ing goes three wide up at the front.
Well, certainly that's definitely going to be a little bit of a brave move there. Ing is not one to back away from about. As you see there, Jacob Seepley, all he can do is sit and watch. As this is where he's going to have that situation again. He's going to see these two drivers come together. Realistically, what Ing wants to do is tuck in behind Hobson, and all he can do is lift. Now that moment is gone. Seepley's got the run, and he's got nowhere to go. He can try and force it up the inside, and you see there the gap is closing. These drivers are pretty much saying, you will not pass go, you will not collect $200, and you certainly will not take first place.
And indeed, and might not even take second or third position, because there's Kane Halliburton. He has just closed up massively along that back straight. While these three were attempting to go side by side, it cost them time, and Halliburton has got himself right on the back of that battle. Kevin Lau in... Oh yeah, sorry, this was the incident with Lau earlier on. So yeah, just walk up on the way into the chicane and having to take his way onto the grass, and that's going to be very, very costly for him. And now back down in sixth position, Daniel, and he's got Joyner, Seafley, Halliburton, Ing, Hobson ahead of him with less than 3 minutes to go. It's not looking good for him getting back on the podium despite his long run up at the front. Harker off.
Yeah, Tyler Harker already had a slowdown flag to clear, and now he's going to pick up a second. This could be a good opportunity here for Philip Falcon to regain that club class lead. We'll have to see just how well Harker can bleed it off. Certainly you can try and bleed it out in the corners and be a little bit of a rolling roadblock to your opponent, but he's going to have to serve it promptly or else face the wrath of the stewards with a black flag. As there you go, he's cleared it, but Philip Falcon able to capitalize, and all that Harker can do is tuck it behind and try and regain that club class lead.
Indeed he can, yeah. So I was just re-watching the overtake there up at the front. Oh, Hobson getting his way past Timothy Ing once again. The two of them swapping positions. along that start-finish straight, and they are still absolutely nose to tail. This is absolutely everyone's race to win, and everyone's race to lose. Look how close they're getting through the corner. So much more momentum being carried by Timothy Ing, who's got himself up to second position now. Kane Halliburton getting the move done as well. He finds himself in third ahead of Jakob Seifele, who now, I mean, what a battle. This is an absolute murderer's row of clean, quick drivers here, Daniel. And they're going side by side, and Halliburton going for the race lead potentially.
Yeah, well, second we will take a look and see just how much Jonathan Hobson is sweating, because right now I have a feeling he'd be selling it by the bottle. He is absolutely drenched, understandably so. He's been working incredibly hard, and now he's got to deal with the Almeida Academy coach that is Kane Halliburton, but right now he is technically back in the lead. He's got the nose there on Jonathan Hobson as he goes side by side around turn one, and that's a little bit of a wiggle there from the likes of Timothy Ing. Hobson able to regain the lead.
Indeed, yeah, Hobson absolutely holding on to this tooth and nail, but so too is Timothy Ing. He is fighting tooth and nail to get this lead. Oh, a little bit of a check him in the braking zone there, and here comes Ian Joyner. Let's go. Jakob Seifele still very much in the hunt. Diaz Castro dropping a bit off the order there, but yeah, as we can see, Ian Joyner, he is fully engaged in this battle. We've got Jakob Seifele just behind him, and Diaz Castro with a meatball flag.
Yeah, he's picked up a meatball
Kevin
flag.
Lowes just had a crash.
Oh dear. Let's go see some replays.
It's the same incident. Bang.
Yeah, that's not meant to be connected like that.
No, it works well in Back to the Future.
That's fine.
But unfortunately, that wheel angle, not the best. Oh, look at this battle up at the front. Outrageous.
At the front of the pack, Timothy Ing has regained the lead, and look at that, Ian Joyner up on the inside. He's going to try and carry as much momentum as he possibly can, but to his left, you are going to find Mr. Jonathan Hobson, and he's doing it very smartly, because right behind, you can see Timothy Ing. Now, the question is, which driver does he want to get the slipstream? I don't think at this point he's chosen one, so he's going to try and cover both, and as a result, he's going to find himself pretty much getting onslaught here as he goes to cover the inside line, heading towards the Wall of Champions.
And here comes Jakob Seifele. Let's not leave him out with this one here. If it wasn't for Kane Halliburton being in front of him, he would have been right in this battle. Past them all the champions we go. How close did they get there? Absolutely ridiculous. And getting close again is Timothy Ing. What an exit he's got. He is side by side. They're now full nose that along the start finish straight. We've got Hobson, Ing, Halliburton and Joyner separated by all this contact, and Timothy Ing is round.
That is definitely a little bit unfortunate. Look like they're going 3 wide. Let's take a look here from another camera angle.
Yeah, coming into turn number 1, you can see Hobson on the inside. Ing finds himself in the middle. Kane Halliburton up the inside. Oh, and it's just Joyner clips his front wheel with his back wheel on the way around the outside, and that is enough to see Timothy Ing with a whole lot of damage, and he now joins Diaz Castro with the exceptionally damaged car, and looks like, yeah, Timothy Ing back in the pits.
Well, certainly Ian Joyner and Timothy Ing have been realistically, it's been the Autobots versus the Decepticons on that occasion. It looks like the Autobots on that one may have come clear. Certainly not saying that he's a Decepticon by any means. You get the reference, just don't hold me to it. But right now, Ian Joyner looking to try and get a race win here at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. But is he going to be able to do it? Kane Halliburton certainly got something to say. Jakob Seifele as well. Diaz Castro still out there running with that meatball flag. But Bas van der Lee very much in pursuit as well. Philip Falcon, though, he's very much clear. What on earth happened to Tyler Harker? He's dropped right out of it.
He has indeed, yeah. He is massively out. He came into the pit lane, actually, on lap number 10. So he picked himself up some damage. Oh, loses the back end. Okay. I mean, lost the tyres there, certainly, Daniel, but didn't look like he made any contact with the wall at that point. Let's have a look here. Yeah, it runs off onto the grass. So yes, there's definitely something ailing him with the setup of the tyres. He is not happy with that car at all. And yeah, drove into the pits for a pit stop and then came back out. Oh, wobble by Halliburton.
Let's go. We're so busy watching replays. Let's take a look here. It looks like there was an absolute battle there to the end. Here we go. Ian Joyner going alongside here with Jonathan Hobson. You can see there Kane Halliburton lurking in the background. Realistically, nowhere for Halliburton to go. Making the way down the back straight. You see he's clear. Hobson carries as much momentum as he possibly can. Single file through. Absolutely grazing the wall there. Joyner with the win, and fair play. Halliburton and Hobson down to the line. Seifele got nowhere to go. Halliburton by a nose, simply very much in there as well. But what an absolutely incredible race here today in Montreal. Just a couple of cars left here on track right now. Marcus Vorpal being one of them. Looks like Rich Meese is still out there lurking as well. He's finished. Matthew Johnson is finished as well. Yep, just the one driver here. The driver of the number 129. Looking to try and find his way to the close of this race. Currently up 6 positions, actually, is Marcus Vorpal, and he's going to be looking for a 25th place finish here.
Indeed, yeah, good race for Marcus. Taking 6 scalps, not too bad at all. He's going to get himself some nice haul of points. 25 drivers making it back across the line. We did have Arnio Childers, KF Lau, Steve Saunders. Mark Schmerder had an early incident, so too Brian Lawns. A very early incident for Lawns. Sees him out of the race as Vorpal, the final driver, to take the checkered flag here at round number 8.
We can see here our final results. Ian Joyner takes the win by 4/10 of a second, with Kane Halliburton coming in second. Jonathan Hobson takes third, with Jacob Seapley in fourth, and Kyle Diaz Castro. Interesting, he had that meatball flag. I do have to wonder if that will change post-race as well. He takes fifth, though, tentatively. Philip Falcon takes sixth, and indeed P1 again in the club class, with Bas van der Leed having to settle for seventh. Zoltan Zomator in eighth, Anthony Rory in ninth, and indeed second in the club class. And then Dominicus Consavicius rounding out your top 10.
Yeah, in 11th place it was Alfredo Cruciano, just ahead of Kemal Kassim in 12th place. Charles Krasik and Sarunas Bruges finished in 13th and 14th, just ahead of Jens Carr. We've got Kevin Adrian and Rich Meester 16th and 17th, with Matthew Johnson in 18th place, just ahead of Nathan Safarian. Third time tonight, he's finished in 19th place. And Lance Tamashiro, second time tonight, he's finished in 20th.
Well, Timothy Ing, that unfortunate incident near the end. He takes 21st, with Kevin Lamb right behind him in 22nd. Norman Renner takes 23rd, with Tyler Harker having a little bit of an early retirement today in 24th. KFLI, he looked pretty spicy today, but was not able to deliver in the final race. He takes 25th, with Marcus Vorpal in 26th. Ilariano, the Finnish driver, in 27th, with Jeremy Childers. What an absolutely stellar defense from him today, but it wasn't enough to survive in that final feature race. He takes 28th, with Steve Saunders in 29th. Mark Schmerder in 30th, and then rounding out your 31 car grid, Brian Lenz. Well, it is that part of the show. John, if you'd like to do the honours, let's have a chat here with Ian Joyner, the final race winner of the day.
Yeah, and I mean, that doesn't even do the night's performances justice. Ian, welcome in. Of course, winner here of the feature race, but I'd say, yeah, definitely up there for winner of driver of the day. I'm assuming you had a whole lot of fun out there tonight in Gilles Villeneuve, a circuit that's never ever fails to deliver.
Yeah, it was mostly fun in the end. I'm not sure I was having a ton of fun when I was cartwheeling down the straight to the last chicane, but yeah, it was a great race. It was certainly fun to be in the right place at the right time at the end of it. Yeah, and it's just loads of. I don't think it's necessarily the most fun track to drive, or not for me at least, but it is. It makes good racing, but also it can just go wrong so fast. Those big straights, such a small line through the chicane. Everyone's got fairly confident, fairly aggressive, but you can't get away with it in the same way you can at the more open tracks.
No, as you say, yeah, I mean, it looked like a whole lot of fun out there. Certainly, it's safe to say and easy to say when you're behind the microphone. But yeah, as you mentioned, the track itself, not the easiest to get the overtakes done. And how were the cars themselves out here tonight? We did see a few lockups here and there, but on the whole, the cars themselves didn't seem overly taily as we saw last week. So how did you find they settled into the track here in Canada?
Yeah, I think the cars, because you'd sort of think of this as maybe being, because of the long straights, you'd want more power. Because these are cars that haven't really got any grip either. Even though they haven't got a ton of power, you still have to do a lot of work to get them through the corners. They kind of ride the curbs okay. The biggest issue, I think, is just because they're open wheel, trying to side-by-side racing through these chicanes with open wheel cars, it just goes wrong so quickly. I think with the SRS last season, you could get away with a lot more sort of gentle rubbing. Like the issue I had with Timothy in the first race was really just, I probably should have left a bigger gap between us, but it's really the tiniest bit of netcode, and then just if the sim detects the wheels interlock, it can put huge kind of yaw angles suddenly onto the car, and then you kind of just not a lot you can do at that point. So, but the cars themselves, they drive kind of fine. Yeah,
and any particular highlights? I mean, I know obviously cartwheeling down, and hopefully you weren't in VR for that, but was there any particular battle that stood out to you tonight? Because there was so many intense moments and intense laps between the top end of the field tonight.
Yeah, there's loads. I mean, if there was a low point, it wasn't necessarily cartwheeling down the straight, although it kind of was really, I always tell myself with these things, because you're always trying to get to the feature, just got to survive the first two. So I was, pretty annoyed I took the risk of getting so close. But then getting turned around at the start, the second race was just really bad. So I think I was 30th on the relative. With the gap as well. So that was, I knew it was going to be really difficult from then. Probably got fortunate, to be honest, with some of that there was a lot of accidents that I just survived or drove around, which, must have been probably 3/4 of the places with just other people having accidents. And then the grid all closes up, so I knew anything could happen from 10th to 11th, but there really not much went wrong. I mean, if anything, it's a shout out for patience. Timothy was super aggressive, so I was pretty aggressive as well, to be fair, especially later on. But I think I was fighting with Kyle, and then Timothy went 3 wide, and then so I let Timothy past because I didn't want to be fighting for ninth, so I wanted to be fighting for the end, and then later on I let Kane past as well. It's kind of it was a nice sort of moral victory for patience, because both of those kind of worked out and got us back towards the front of the field. And then, the only time you really don't want to lose a position is last couple of laps. So it's just one long run. Kind of would have enjoyed to have raced with Jonathan more. I didn't really see much. He must have been doing something right, because he was up there for so long, and it's really hard to stay in front with a draft. So I kind of was. It almost went too easy, that last fight into the chicane, but I'm sure if we'd had a few more laps, it would have swapped places, over and over again.
Indeed, yeah. Well, it was absolutely fascinating to watch. I do hope you go back and watch the broadcast, Ian. Congratulations on tonight's results, and best of luck for next week at Navarro.
Thanks, guys.
Well, what an absolute belter of a race it was here for Ian Joyner. But not only that, Jonathan Hobson, you're joining us live here on the driver cams, and it's fair to say you look like you may be a little bit warm, sir. Certainly able to start P1 for race 2, ran away with it, and then an almighty battle of the Titans for race number 3. Tell us a little bit about it from your point of view, and indeed, who is going to be your biggest rival now for the rest of the season?
Yeah, well, the first race, I thought, terrible. I got hit from behind, so I spun out, managed to claw my way back to P8, which is the best place. So I was lucky, just shocked that I was starting on pole for the heat, the race 2. Then that went really well. Kyle, I remember he tried a move at the last chicane, which went badly, so that let me just run off and have a nice relaxing hot lapping session. And then, the last race was absolutely insane. That was so much fun.
Well, certainly it's good to see such fierce competition here in the Almeida Racing League as part of the Almeida Academy as well. We've not seen you for many seasons. I believe this is your debut season as well. I know you've been working away for work. I think you was out in the Chicago area not that long ago as well. So certainly when you made a return, what an absolutely fantastic return. Able to take 2 podiums here today. How do you think it's going to go for you at Navarro? Indeed, are we going to see the driver of the 86 making an appearance yet again?
Yeah, hopefully. This was the first time I've driven on Montreal. So last week I was saying that I was interested to see how it goes on a new track, because Okayama is one of my favorites, but it went really well. Put in a lot of mileage in practice, so I think that paid off. So if I put in the same amount of practice on Navarra, hopefully that'll pay off as well.
Well, certainly a good points haul for yourself. We'd love to see you for more of the season. But Jonathan, is there anybody you want to shout out for today's performance?
I think, it seems like Kevin died at the last second, which is a real shame. He was putting up a great fight with me, so it's sad to see that he didn't make it.
Well, what I can tell you is Kevin Lau is, he's physically okay, but indeed his race car in the sim is maybe not so good. But certainly Kevin Lau and Jonathan Hobson having an absolutely monumental fight, and what an absolute show it was. By all means, enjoy watching the broadcast back. But we are going to move on here to our next driver, the third driver in the interview booth, the one and only Mr. Bas van der Lee. John Wright here with the details.
Good evening, Baz. How are you? Joining us once again in the commentary box for another interview, another podium performance. I mean, talk to us about Gilles Villeneuve and tonight's races overall.
Hello. Good to be here. Finally, a top step podium this time, which is something that I really hope to manage one day. Yeah, there we go. There we go. I was kind of always the bridesmaid, never the bride, but we did it this time.
Oh my gosh, Bass in a bridesmaid's dress. It was too much for me.
Yeah,
Sorry, carry on, John.
But Montreal's it's a tough track because of the grouping. So that draft is strong, and if you lose it, then it seems if you want to get back to the group ahead, you need some people to work with. Isn't always the case. So we managed to try, especially in the race one, try to keep up with the front and stay in the neighborhood to see what we can do. So that was the plan, at least.
And yeah, talking to the slipstream, actually, let's get slightly technical and slightly geeky, if you don't mind me asking. We often do say being in a slipstream, you go quicker, but then you're carrying more pace into the corners. So when you're coming into these heavy braking zones, like the hairpin at the end of the long straight, how much more difficult is it managing that brake when you've got 2, 3, potentially even 4 cars ahead of you?
It's pretty tough. You almost need multiple references, because you have your normal brake reference, but you know you're carrying more speed, so you have to carry that or manage that. And also try to have a plan, because there are multiple instances in these races. There are multiple cars ahead. It just doesn't make sense to go for a move there. Anything can happen. Try to focus on the corner, try to lift early, maybe brake a little early, at least on the limit, and then try to carry that momentum forward to stay with the group. But that's the only plan you can have.
Yeah, nice. And give us a quick word before we get a shout out and some from anyone that you'd like to shout out. Talk to us about Navarro next time out. That's going to be an interesting little outing, I'd imagine.
I don't know if you've seen the layout we'll be running, but it's not the normal long one. I call it the guitar-shaped one.
Yes.
Because I resemble it. And it's basically, 2 long straights and a couple of corners in which Navarro turn 1, 2 is notorious for braking not straight, but diagonally. That will be chaos. I mean, if you've seen this draft track, just wait for Navarro. This will be quite something.
Indeed, and I'm looking forward to watching it, I can assure you. Before we let you go, Baz, anyone you'd like to say thank you to or a shout out?
Well, thank you to my rivals, because we're during the week we practice a lot, right, to get to these times. So you always got times of Ian and of Timothy and of Kevin and of Jonathan and of Kyle, and all these guys. We're just pushing each other, try to beat each other's times. And that's what you need to perform on race day on Saturday. So the preparation just starts tomorrow already for next week. See if we can get to the pace. So shout out to all of them. Any names I missed, of course, but the top guys, they really push you on.
Yeah, well, you're certainly one of the top guys, Baz. Phenomenal performance today. Congratulations on the win, and very much looking forward to seeing you again next time out with Navarro.
Thank you.
Well, always a pleasure to speak to Bas van der Loo, but we are joined with royalty in the form of Kane Halliburton. Certainly, Kane, it's been a little while since we've seen you as frequently, but it's good to see you back, and back at your usual form as well. What an absolutely monumental drive through the field. But let's talk a little about this from a coaching point of view. What was the best advice here that you had for the students making their way to this Montreal circuit?
My advice would have been to be ruthless, put yourself in the safest and the best position possible, and let everybody else deal with the consequences, which is exactly what we done, to the point I was caught by surprise. The students bullied me a little bit that race, which was not fun, but also good to see. Proud of the progress and how much everybody's improved in terms of pace and racecraft as well. It's actually a little bit challenging these days.
Well, certainly, speaking of the students giving you a run for your money, Jeremy Childers actually, I think, was probably one of the biggest people who gave you a fight there. Has he now painted himself a target on his back? Certainly, if the driver of the number 17 happened to see him just ahead.
That was good stuff from Jeremy. I was being a little bit careful, as a coach. I'm always wary of taking people out, but he dealt with me exactly how he should have. Just aggressive, ruthless, letting me figure it out.
Well, certainly, definitely the students making constant improvements here, thanks to the coaches such as Kane Halliburton, Connor Bell, and indeed Swelio Almeida as well. Actually, we're going to roast him a little bit. Certainly, Connor being absent from today's broadcast, as is Swelio as well. We've not seen him too often as well. But Kane, I do have to wonder if we could see a coach versus coach battle very soon. Do you reckon we could see that maybe for the special event here at Pit Road Productions?
Hopefully. It's been a while since we've had more than one coach in a race. Connor doing his real life stuff. Swelio, I think he's a bit scared, but I'll try and get him in next race.
Well, you heard it here first. Kane Halliburton ruthlessly calling out his fellow Academy staff, and certainly I look forward to it. I have still not forgotten the battle between myself, you, Connor Bell, and Swelio practicing in the TCRs there at Watkins Glen. Now, Connor Bell was given a easy door open, from which I learned very quickly. And then I do have to, we love Swelio dearly, but I do have to curse out Swelio slightly on this one, because he's like, I can see chaos coming, and not even 2 seconds later, I indeed absolutely yeeted it and broke the car. So thank you for that. I would love to do that again. But Kane, we're heading over to Navarra for the next round. What's going to be your advice there to the students for a successful race?
I'm not 100% sure, to be honest. I think this will be the ultimate test of everything we've gone through so far this season. There's a crazy amount of draft, but it's also an extremely wide track with very simple corners. So it's not as if, like this track, you have to be careful through the chicanes. You have to, be a little bit cautious, make sure you're leaving that space. Navarra, you're going to see 3 wide, 4 wide, side by sides for 2 or 3 laps at a time. I think it really will be the ultimate test of racecraft, decision making, pace, a little bit of everything, really. I'm looking forward to it.
Well, certainly myself as well, and indeed everybody at home. But ladies and gentlemen, that was your Almeida Academy coach, driver of number 17, Mr. Kane Halliburton. And we'd like to celebrate his success in the race, but he's an Academy coach, so we don't really get to do that. Sorry, Kane. We'll just recognize that you're indeed a force to be reckoned with. But that is going to wrap it up here for the Almeida Racing League here today. What an absolute belter of an event it's been. Such a treat here, such an absolute treat, and we're going to be back in 1 week's time at Navarra. My name is Daniel Zippy Salmon, and joining me in the production booth today, the one and only, our favourite Scotsman, Mr. John Wright. Thank you very much for watching. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and we'll see you again very soon for the Almeida Racing League here on Pit Road Productions.
Now he's here teaching all his secrets to all these drivers. This is Almeida Racing Academy,
where every champion has a starting line.
The sim racer turned real world superstar, Swelio Almeida.
It's Connor Bell racing in his own backyard for the very first time in the NASCAR Canada Series.
The workshops helped out so much. Something about battling with somebody faster than you, it just pushes you that little bit further, and I was able to just keep developing my skill.
I can kind of commit more with the exit there. That was good. If you do take sim racing seriously, it does impact your racing technique for the rest of your life.
I know how the car is going to perform around these corners because the model I have in the sim. Just the benefit of sim racing when you go into real life, I don't think people quite realize it yet.
You have infinite track time is the biggest factor. You are able to try so many things, and the physics that are simulated in the sim nowadays, especially iRacing, are so close to real life.
Swelio Almeida is a master at his craft. He's outclassed a Le Mans driver, a European Le Mans Series racer.
These guys are among the top 0.02% in the world.
Designed to create champions.
First NASCAR Canada start. First NASCAR victory for Connor Bell.
Connor Bell standing on the podium here today.
This is the Almeida Racing Academy 3.0.
Wait a race, buddy. Wait a race.